Hello, my name is Bruce Wellams. I'm a Claretian missionary priest. I just celebrated 25 years of being a priest, and I've been working here in Chicago for all of my priestly life in several places, but recently in Holy Cross Immaculate Heart of Mary Church on the near southwest side of Chicago for the last 22 years. But the mission has always changed. I think what I'd like to say is I believe very much in the experience of Christ, in Jesus. Jesus started out, and as I learned more and more every year, serving the poor. And in doing so, everything got turned on its head as he looked to work with the kingdom of God. I think in this neighborhood I've learned a lot about that, or I'm learning still. But I find that from a personal point of view, whenever I get discouraged or disheartened, I go to serve the poor, and I'm animated and appreciative of who we are as a people of God. They teach me about community, they teach me about family, they teach me about my own vocation. And I think Claret discovered that early on in his own life. I think Jesus was a model for him, and Claret was a follower of Jesus, and he served the poor in a very similar way. He went out at those times when he needed direction to serve others, and he found it in his reflection. Claret teaches me, as I know more and more his life, that we have to connect all the time. And what's happened in this parish, or in at least in my ministry, in Claretian mission life together, is that as we have connected, we have networked with many others, and that has enriched our life here. It's provided for us a way of doing mission and understanding of what missionary life is about, and truly the lay people have taught me this along the way. The stories that you will hear are from many people we have connected with throughout the years, and some recently from a businessman I just got to know to a teacher I've known since 1997, to a sister who we've worked with for the last 22 years. So whether recent or long ago, all these relationships have built a network of being able to serve the poor more honestly in our mission. And it's created a dynamic spirit among our missionaries and livened many youth, because these networks have taught us to appreciate who the human person really is in their lives. So that's part one. I am also recently elected as the prefect of the apostolate. I'm following in the footsteps of Miguel Velasco, and I'm happy to do so, to learn how being able to connect in this setting will help us as missionaries to connect throughout the United States and enrich the mission just as it has here in this neighborhood. It's interesting, we're working in a parish here, but I see the parish only as an instrument to carry out a larger mission. And it's a mission of becoming one community, concerned with justice, concerned with the well-being of everyone. The parish really becomes a place where we can gather, but we teach in the parish, and the people that we network with teach us that every place is a gathering place, our homes. And if you go into our church, you will see a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe commissioning Juan Diego to go out and build the church. And that's what we use as our foundational theology in the mission of this parish. We build the church in the homes, in the communities, in the schools, in the parks, with the police, with the judges, with the business people, and then on Sunday we come back and tell the story. And this is what enriches us, hearing the story. So listening to the story of each person, of each community, of each family becomes the mission. And in our listening, we are transformed. As a director of the apostolate, I feel that this is something I need to work with across our United States communities. That we as Claretians need to hear the stories of one another and really appreciate in community those stories, but model that as behavior to live in our own missions wherever we are. So that we begin to hear the stories of those around us, and it transforms what we do. I can tell you, by listening to stories in this community, we've created a wood shop for youth, a marimba group, a vision of youth concerned with social justice in the colleges and universities, concerned about immigration, priorities of this community, domestic violence, housing, and leadership, ultimately lay leadership. And they themselves train us in how to collaborate with laity. I think that's very animating in the mission, and it makes me excited to work with it. So this will become the work of our apostolate over the next several years, to work on how we train laity to work with us and us with them, and accompany one another in our mission sites. We work in Fresno with migrants, in Ciudad Juarez with people suffering immigration at the frontera, the frontier of our church. We work in La Placita, where they do so many sacraments, but getting to know people and how to really empower young people who are homeless, people without jobs, people who have need to find meaning in their life. San Gabriel, which has a beautiful history and tradition, but how to connect the different migrant groups, Vietnamese and Chinese and Mexican families. To Perth Amboy in New York City, where they have 4 different Latin American communities living together, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and Cubans and Mexicans. To Springfield, where we have a large campus ministry and students who want to grow in their awareness of what is the church today and how is the church really responding. To Atlanta, Georgia, where we have probably, I think there are 32 different cultures within that one community, and how do we build a collaborative lay community to really serve. These are the challenges we face today for our church to grow, and to invite young people from each of these places, from our own places, to participate in the mission of the Claretians today.